Hi everyone, it's Jess. As you can tell, I am in a different setting. I am currently at home from university for the weekend, so I thought why not film a few videos. I'm sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded my last one. I've just been so busy with university that I haven't had chance. Although I have finished a book, which is why I am doing a review today. I have currently finished now the Heartless book, which I got in my Owl Crate subscription. So I'm really pleased to have finished this one. The first book that I've actually finished this year all the way through. I've read a few books, but currently haven't finished any yet. I'm like halfway through a few. Had a lot of dedication problems since the new year started, but oh well. So yeah, I thought I'd bring a review for you today. So Heartless is a kind of retelling slash prequel of Alice in Wonderland. So it's about the Queen of Hearts before she became the Queen of Hearts, so before she becomes evil and everything else. So it is set in a place called Hearts, and she is called Catherine. She at this point is a lovely girl. She loves baking. She wants to open her new bakery, although that is sort of against her parents, who are like the Marquis and Marquess. I don't remember what you call the other one, but anyway, they are against her baking. They think that she should be part of the higher part of society, and she shouldn't work like everybody else, and she shouldn't have a job, and she needs to fulfill her duties as a daughter to them and marry off to someone. And that person who they want her to marry is the king. Now Catherine despises not despises the king, she likes him, she almost feels sorry for him in a way. She is not attracted to him though. They go to the ball where she is supposed to be proposed to him that night. She doesn't know anything, and then she meets Jess, who is the court jester, and instantly, as soon as she sees him, she's attracted to him. And now she knows that she doesn't fancy the king. She can't fancy the king because she hasn't felt this way against anyone else before. And when she meets Jess, she is instantly drawn to him. I'm trying not to do too many spoilers. I'm hoping that I haven't done any. I have read the synopsis, so I think I've kept within the lines of that so far. But throughout the book, you know that there is a doom over the whole story, because you know that she becomes the Queen of Hearts. You know that she becomes evil and she's like off with her head. So yeah, you know that she isn't going to be this innocent little girl who wants to open a bakery and wants to bake and be nice to everyone and please everybody forever. So it adds quite a lot of suspense through the book. I did really enjoy this book. I feel like the first 100 pages and the last 100 pages are what I enjoyed the most. Unfortunately, the middle 200 just didn't grip it for me. I really struggled trying to carry on this book, just because there was a lot more romance in it than I was expecting. So I'm okay with romance as long as there's another whole story, but I felt like with the romance with the king and the jester, there was just way too much for a book that I usually enjoy. So the middle 200 pages, I've really struggled to carry on, to keep picking it up, had to keep putting it down just because I was so overwhelmed with all the romance in the book. I did really enjoy it though. The last 100 pages is where everything kicks off and the doom finally happens, and it's horrible to read. It's so upsetting, and you're rooting for her not to become the Queen of Hearts and not to become evil, but you know that it's going to happen. So it's really hard to keep reading just because you know what's going to happen. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this book, just depending on how much romance you enjoyed. There was a really kind of soppy romance going, and it's just not for me. Then also, I feel like the way Marissa and Meyer wrote this book was absolutely amazing. I haven't read Alice in Wonderland, I've watched the films, so I feel that I could pick up on a lot of the sort of references to his story, but I feel like watching other people's reviews, there could have been a whole lot more that I should have picked up on. Yeah, so I feel like I should have picked up on a lot of the quotes and things like that, and all of the sort of niceties, but I did pick up on quite a few, which was good, which I did really enjoy. Her writing is absolutely amazing. I haven't picked up the Lunar Chronicles before, but that's definitely on the list of books that I need to buy. Marissa Meyer's writing is just, the way she describes things, the way she was describing Catherine's cakes just really made me want to go and buy cakes and sit and eat cakes whilst I was reading. The description was just, oh, it made me so hungry. But the way she described all the characters, it was also, yeah, as well, also really nice that all of the, like, quite a few characters from Alice in Wonderland was in the book. So you've got the Cheshire Cat and Tweedledum and Tweedledee are also quoted, that they're off in chess looking after the Queen. So yeah, there's quite a few characters, and then the caterpillar as well, sort of dashed throughout the book, but none of it's in your face, none of it's like, oh, I'm definitely reading a retelling. Obviously you know you are, but it's sort of done in such a nice way that it's just sort of subtle throughout the story, and when you notice it you're like, oh, yeah, look at what she did there. So that's really nice. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you don't want any spoilers, this next section will be spoilers. If you haven't read this book, then I would suggest that you switch off now and then go and read it yourself and then come back. If not, thank you for carry on watching, and I shall go into the spoiler section. So, spoilers. I couldn't like the king. I just couldn't. The way he was so soppy and keep calling her like my sweetness, and all of the letters that was written to Catherine and all the flowers, and oh, it just makes me cringe. I couldn't feel sorry for him. I was just like, how can you be so just like, how can you just be so naive as to what's going on? Kath clearly doesn't like you. She's trying to avoid you, so you keep saying that she's sick to actually come out and meet up with you. And oh, I just couldn't. His romance was just, oh, it was sickening. I understand why it was in the book. I understand why you wanted to feel that way, because you wanted to be yearning for Jess instead, but it was just way too much. Just way too much for me. I love the romance between Catherine and the Jester. When they went into the cave at the beach party, oh, the first time when they both tell each other they love each other, and you're just like, it was just beautiful. And he just, oh, he's definitely a book boyfriend that you would definitely want. He's mischievous, he's, you know, the kind of bad guy almost. Like, he knows that she should be courting the king, and yet he's sticking his nose in and trying to win round Catherine. Obviously later on in the book you find out that it wasn't all genuine, and he is trying to steal Catherine's heart, and I was then torn between like, how much of this is the truth? Obviously he then falls in love with her, and the mission was to steal Catherine's heart, and that's what he was doing at the start. So yeah, and when there was a lot in the book that was such a struggle to read, especially in the last 100 pages, because you didn't want Catherine to walk back through the door. You knew what was going to happen, you knew the prophecies, but you knew that she was going to, you knew that she was going to become evil, you knew that Jess was going to die, because that was how she then lost her heart and was off with her head and everything else. You knew what was going to happen. It was just the doom that was over the story was just terrible. In the last 100 pages you knew what was going to happen, so that was really difficult to carry on watching. But yeah, I did really like this book. It was just the middle 100 pages. I feel like maybe if I wasn't in a reading slump at the moment, I maybe would have enjoyed it a little bit more, but I feel like partly it might have put me in a little bit of a reading slump, just because the middle 200 pages was so hard to carry on reading. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this book to everybody if you made this all the way through, and you have some views on the book. Also, let me know if you've done a review down below, what you thought of it. Obviously try and avoid putting spoilers in the comments, don't want to spoil anybody who hasn't read it yet. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much if you've made it this far through the video and you have already subscribed. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.